Cooking the perfect roast can seem daunting. There are all those worries about timings, whether your meat might be over or undercooked. With the NEFF oven and its unique circotherm system, these worries can be laid to rest. The unique way that the heat is delivered through the oven means that the meat is sealed really quickly, locking all those juices inside. This helps to prevent shrinkage and also means that you get a much more tender and succulent roast. This recipe of roasted pork loin with stuffed apples is ideal for a Sunday lunch. For more great recipes using circotherm, have a look in your book. I've got a lovely loin of pork here, about 1.5 kilos, and we're going to serve that with some potatoes. We're going to toss in a little oil, and we're going to stuff 4 dessert apples. And for our stuffing, we're going to have onion, breadcrumb, some sage, and an egg. And to go with this, I've got a selection of vegetables and herbs which go really well with the pork. To make the stuffing, first of all you need to fry your onions. I've got some oil heating in my pan here. I'm just going to add those in. You want to fry them quite gently, and while they're cooking we can just mix together the rest of the ingredients. Just going to put the breadcrumbs into a big bowl, add the sage, and we're also going to add the egg. Mix that all together with a spoon. Now that your onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes, you can add them to the rest of the stuffing. Just scoop them in with all the lovely oil and then give it a good mix. Then you want to add plenty of seasoning, salt and black pepper, and then we're going to just divide it in half because we're going to share it between the apples and the pork. I've made a slit in the pork joint, just in between the meat and where the fat starts. So we're just going to finish pushing that stuffing in there. It's also really important to take your joint out of the fridge about an hour or so before you want to cook it, to let it come up to room temperature. I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. Another good tip would be to pat your pork skin dry with some kitchen towel to get really crisp crackling, but your NEFF oven's going to help with that anyway. Place the pork on its wire rack over the universal tray on shelf 1. We're then going to turn the oven onto circotherm 170 degrees. There's no need to worry about preheating the oven because as the oven heats up, the pork will heat up with it. It weighs just over 1.5 kilos, so it's going to take about an hour and 40 minutes to cook, so we'll just set the minute minder. After about 15 minutes, we're going to scatter the potatoes around the pork. They're just going to be tossed lightly in oil. And then with about an hour to go, we're going to put all the prepared vegetables and herbs into the universal tray under the pork. With around 20 minutes to go, you can prepare your apples. You need to core them and then stuff them with the remaining stuffing mixture. You want to get as much in as possible, so really squeeze it in there. And then you're just ready to sit them alongside the pork in the oven. We're cooking everything in one tray today, but if you wanted to cook things in different trays, the way that the circotherm air circulates around the oven means that the flavours don't intermingle, so you could even put a dessert in there if you wanted to. The unique way the NEFF oven door slides away and the tray pulls out means it's really easy to place these apples around the pork. There's no having to put your hand into a hot oven. These are now going to be taking about 20 minutes and then everything's going to be ready all in one go. I've taken the meat out of the oven and it's been resting for about 20 minutes. This is something really important to do with all roasts. You have to let the meat relax before you carve. Just look how fabulous that crackling is. The circotherm has really done its work there. Just going to cut into it. Hear that crunch. And you can see on the inside just how succulent and juicy that meat is. That's thanks to the unique way that the air circulates around the oven. You can really see here that because of the way the heat is distributed through the oven using circotherm, that you will get a succulent pork loin roast with a wonderful crispy crackling.